"Ma'am, are you lost?" The security officer's voice was polite, but there was a thin edge of impatience in it. The woman standing at the front entrance of the military base didn't look like she belonged there, not to him anyway. Before we move further into this story, let us know in the comments where you're watching from. We'd love to hear. Let's dive in. She wore a faded floral blouse, a second-hand coat with fraying cuffs, and scuffed shoes. Her hair, streaked with grey, was tied back loosely. In her hand was a worn leather purse that had clearly seen decades of use. "I'm here for the ceremony," she said, her voice quiet but steady. The officer glanced at his clipboard. "This is an invitation-only event. Are you sure you're at the right place?" She nodded once. "I'm sure." Behind her, other guests in suits, dresses, and military uniforms streamed past without so much as a second glance. Some looked at her curiously, as though wondering what a woman like her was doing here. The officer hesitated before stepping aside reluctantly. "All right, ma'am. You can wait over there until someone can verify your name." She found an empty seat in the back row of the large hall, its walls lined with flags and framed photographs of past military heroes. The stage at the front was set with a podium and a row of chairs. Uniformed officers mingled with government officials, shaking hands and exchanging formal greetings. She sat quietly, clutching her purse, her eyes scanning the room as if searching for something or someone. When the ceremony began, the master of ceremonies introduced a man whose entrance made the room stand a little taller. General Marcus Ellison, a four-star officer with decades of service and a reputation for both courage and humility. The audience applauded as he walked to the podium, his chest gleaming with ribbons and medals. His speech was about honor, sacrifice, and the unseen heroes who make service possible. Then he paused, his eyes searching the crowd. "There's someone here today who has no idea why she's been invited," he said, his voice resonating through the hall. "But she's the reason I'm standing here at all." The room murmured. The woman in the back froze. "Many years ago, when I was a young soldier, I was stationed overseas. During a patrol, my convoy was ambushed. I was wounded, badly. I wouldn't be here today if not for a civilian who risked everything to pull me to safety, hide me from enemy fire, and tend my wounds until help arrived. That woman disappeared before I could thank her. I searched for years." He stepped away from the podium, his gaze fixed now. "And today I found her." Gasps filled the room as the general began walking down the aisle. People turned in their seats to follow his line of sight. The woman clutched her purse tighter, her breath catching in her throat. She hadn't thought he'd remember. She hadn't expected this. When he stopped in front of her, the entire room went silent. Slowly, he removed his cap, squared his shoulders, and in a gesture that made every heart in the room swell, he saluted her. Not a casual greeting, but a full, formal, unwavering salute. The kind reserved for the highest honor. She stared at him for a moment, her eyes glistening, before standing on trembling legs. "I was just doing what anyone would have done," she said softly. His voice was firm, but full of emotion. "Number, you did what almost no one would have done." The applause began slowly, a few people rising to their feet, and then it spread until the entire hall was standing, clapping and cheering. Cameras flashed, but she hardly noticed. She saw only the young man she'd dragged out of danger so many years ago, now standing before her as one of the most respected leaders in the military. He turned to the crowd. "Remember this. Not all heroes wear uniforms. Some wear whatever they have on the day they decide to be brave." He then reached into his pocket and handed her a small medal in a velvet box. "This is the Legion of Merit. I've never given one to a civilian before, but you've earned it." Her hands shook as she accepted it, tears slipping down her cheeks. "I didn't save you for a medal," she whispered. He smiled. "I know. That's why you deserve it." After the ceremony, people lined up to shake her hand. Soldiers young enough to be her grandchildren called her Mom with respect. Families thanked her for saving the man who had led their loved ones. She left the base that day not as the quiet, unnoticed woman who had walked in, but as someone whose courage had finally been recognized. Some acts of bravery are never forgotten, even if it takes a lifetime to say thank you. If this story touched you, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and let us know how you feel in the comments.